In today's video, we're going to look at the last video I made, which was about the top 10 crypto market caps between May 2013 and July 2022. So it's one of these running bar charts, big back in the day, and I've decided to create one for the crypto space. What are some of the ways to determine whether a crypto has medium to long-term potential? I've actually written a piece about this recently. So we can see the space is vastly different back then compared to what we have now. Just Bitcoin and Litecoin, and then XRP shortly, as you see there. These are the recognizable names. The rest are long gone in many ways, just remnants of what they used to be. If I skip to 2015, we started to see the rise of some privacy coins as well, and we also had Stellar Lumens. It's a fork of XRP. Back in 2015, we saw the rise of Dogecoin as well, getting into the top 10, or relatively speaking, still well behind Bitcoin and XRP. So just a few key points here. 2015 is when we saw Ethereum entering the list. I have to give credit where it's due. It was a very impressive, it's been very consistent overall, staying in, I think, the top 5 since, shortly after its inception, back in mid-2015. Litecoin held its ground for a while, but it has kind of slipped down the list and it's lost some relevance, but it is still up there. During this time, we also saw the rise of some privacy coins. We have Dash, Monero there. Zcash later on, it didn't actually make the top 10 list, not that I'm aware of, but there was a big movement to have these alternate cryptos that were privacy focused, especially as Bitcoin transactions, they've become easier to track over time. At the same time here as well, we see Dogecoin coming and going. There was the rise of Steam. That's one of those, I think, a gaming related crypto, social media. But there was quite a community back in the day that has kind of lost favor in recent years. If I skip to 2017, in the latter part of this year, you can see things starting to take shape with the dominant players in the crypto space and ones that are still around today. There was also the rise of these hard forks of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we have Ethereum Classic. I think that's something to actually keep an eye out for. I have to admit, I think Ethereum Classic, it will be fascinating to see what happens to that after the Ethereum merge, which is forecast in the next month or two. We can see Bcash entering the list here. So just to backtrack slightly, there was a split from Bitcoin. There was a split, there was some disagreements, so to speak, between many of the people supporting Bitcoin originally, and some of them had decided to launch their own crypto on their own blockchain, which is Bcash. The end of that year being 2017, XRP just had some crazy volatility in volume. And the price got to $3.60, something it has not yet relived, unlike many of the other cryptos that have hit some all-time highs. Cardano entered the space as well during this period. It's been another consistently top performer, being in the top 10 for a while, actually since joining the list. EOS, now I'm just going to pause the video here. EOS is quite a talking point because back when it launched, and it still holds this record as being the largest ICO to date, I think $4 billion compared to tens or hundreds of millions of dollars for other cryptos. There were many high hopes and expectations for this crypto to be one of the Ethereum killers, and not much really came out of it. There was the hype relating to the Voice social media platform. That was a bit of a flop, and then they did some other rebranding. Let's move on. There's a lot I could say. At this point, privacy coins were starting to lose some relevance. No more Dash, and Monero every so often got into the top 10. But an important milestone to mark here is the rise of Tether. So this being the first, or at least one of the most renowned stable coins in the crypto market. You see more stable coins coming into this top 10. And in recent years, it's generated a lot of discussion about what impact these could have on the overall crypto market. As we get to about 2020, you then see more of these stable coins coming in. For a brief period, we had a spin-off of an original Bitcoin spin-off. So Bitcoin SV being a fork of Bitcoin Cash, it provoked the ire of a lot of Puritans, or even just crypto enthusiasts like myself, because you're constantly having this dilution, so to speak, of the original Bitcoin supply. You had the 21 million, well, which is still the case, as the max supply. You then had Bcash with another 21 million, BSV adding to, and it's just, the list goes on. So a lot of infighting in the space. You'll see at least that loses favor over time. The market's still, not doing too much at this point. We're still in the bear market here. Let's just fast forward. We'll get to 2020. Actually, I want to get back to, it was March. What a time to be alive, I have to admit, with the global events back then. That just huge drop in about a week or so. Bitcoin fell to about, I think, $4,000 to $4,500. Ethereum dropped considerably. The entire market tanked. And what a turnaround we had once we hit the end of the year. Some more of these exchange coins gaining relevance. So Crypto.com coin, Binance coin making the top 10 again. Well, it's come and gone, but then it establishes a permanent presence in there. Polkadot as well, making its way up the list. Chainlink too, some major projects, some very good ones in my opinion too. Of course, not financial advice. We see this list here, or if you look at the market caps, rapidly rising once again. At this point, come the end of 2020, Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. I think Ethereum did as well, and many cryptos gaining that momentum to see huge price increases too. The total market cap exceeded $1 billion, I think, for the first time. $1 trillion, apologies. And it was a very wild year, come 2021. I know it's not that long ago, but before you know it, it will be 2023. Dogecoin having a bit of a renaissance. Whoa, getting up to 4th spot at some point. Yeah, it was just insane. You'll see Shiba Inu very shortly too. As we can see here, now the market is beginning to take shape in terms of the dominant cryptos here. What's fascinating to note is we have 3 of these cryptos now stable coins. We've got Tether, USD Coin, and Binance USD. As time progresses, you'll see many of these gaining popularity, at least for the near future. $2 trillion in the overall crypto market cap being exceeded here. Now, just to clarify something I forgot to mention earlier, this total represents the top 10 and not the entire crypto market cap. Having said that, this does represent, I would say, about 92 to 93% of the overall circulating market cap in US dollar value. So these 10 at any given point in time have a disproportionate amount of influence on the entire space, well, in terms of the circulating market cap. Solana, Avalanche, Cardano, a lot of these Ethereum killers. I know I have to use air quotes there. I hate that term, but that's what many people say in the space. Increasing in popularity. Solana, though, has experienced many hacks recently. We saw Terra USD, as we can see here in this screenshot, 9th and 10th respectively for the crypto and the related stablecoin. Both just plummeted in the space of, it's about 24 to 48 hours. Just erasing about 95 to 96%, actually I think 99% of its value. But so far, this gives you some indication of how the crypto space stands. USD coin is rapidly catching up to Tether. Bitcoin and Ethereum have maintained the top spot for several years now. XRP every so often jumping in 2nd or 3rd spot. Cardano holding its place in the top 10. The rise of Binance coin, which is now BNB. This will be interesting to see as time progresses because BNB is actually deflationary. I think that will work wonders for the unit price. When you're considering the medium to long-term potential of these crypto assets, a few things to bear in mind include the current circulating supply. So you think of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Binance coin in particular, relatively low supplies and low inflation rates too. Probably the biggest draw card from a unit price perspective. We know Binance coin, it is gradually decreasing its supply until it hits 100 million, which was originally at 200 million coins. Ethereum has, as part of the London hard fork, ETH being burnt frequently or small amounts being burnt regularly, and Bitcoin, which has the 21 million capped supply. You can see here as well the inflation rate at every, say, 3.5 to 4 year interval for the block reward halving. That inflation rate is constantly being halved, and at the moment it sits at, I think it's 1.73%, and will halve to less than 1% in 2024. On top of all of this, it's important to factor in the social media presence of some of the major cryptos that I've covered, or even your favorite coin or token. You consider we've got Bitcoin, there's Ethereum, Cardano, and don't just rely solely on information you see on Twitter. You want to look at different news outlets, both social media and the designated news websites for crypto. So CoinDesk, a very good source too. Something I found through Live CoinWatch, for example, other than all the price information and the related trading pairs and markets, you have the past year of developer activity for your given crypto asset. Considering all of this information, it will give you a clearer understanding of which crypto projects or assets you should follow or get behind and allocate money to, and what you should be wary of as well. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe if you want to stay up to date with my latest content, and share this with anyone who you believe will benefit from this. Thanks again, have a nice day, and talk to you shortly. See you later.